How's it going, metalheads, and welcome back to another video. This is going to be a longer video because I am going over a live show, but it's a festival, so it's going to be pretty long. I'm going to review all the stuff I saw, all the stuff I did, all the stuff I bought, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to, tell you what I didn't like and what I did like and everything about the festival. So yeah, let's get right into it. The festival in question is one Flatline Fest, put on by Dave Otero of Flatline Studios here in Denver. It was made up of mostly bands that he's worked with, or I believe all bands that he's worked with, and a lot of Denver bands as well, which is really cool. It was a 2-day festival at the Oriental Theater here in Denver, and it was a really cool experience, and I just wanted to, share my take on it and all the stuff I, acquired and saw and friends I made, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, let's get started. So day one was Saturday, June, I'm stupid, June 13th. And so yeah, started at 5, got there, well, doors were at 5, got there a little before, and the line was already way around the, like into the alley around. You guys don't know what I'm talking about if you're not from Denver, but it was a long line for not being doors open yet. So yeah, I will say, I love the Oriental. I've seen a shitload of shows there. Actually, this festival was my 50th ever concert, which is pretty cool. And I've seen a lot of them at the Oriental, probably 20 or so at the Oriental. I love that place, but the only thing I hate about it is the merch. So when you walk into the Oriental, it's like a little front area where there's a bar and stuff. There's the bathrooms. There's the stairs go to the balcony, and then you walk into the actual stage room. There's a little walkway, maybe I don't know, 5 or 6 feet across on either side. That's where they usually put the merch, and I hate the merch set up there. It always gets cluttered, especially with a lot of people. And this was a festival, so yeah, it was especially, for some reason, they didn't even use both sides, and it was 6 bands a day. So yeah, merch, thumbs down. The merch was cool. Like, I bought a lot of merch, but I'm just saying, they could have organized it better. Anyhow, that was the only bad thing. Back to day one. So, day one, walk in, the merch line got really insane really quickly, so I hopped in it just to see what I could get. And I think I kept going back periodically after the bands played. So I wanted to support a bunch of the bands. So the first thing I think I picked up, okay, so Metal Blade was one of the sponsors. Sorry, I'm all over the place. I just got back. So Metal Blade was one of the sponsors for this event, and they did a sampler CD with some of the bands that played on it. So I got one of these. They are free for attendees. It's got Cattle Decapitation on it, who played. It's got a Legion who played. It's got Nuclear Power Trio who played. The Zenith Passage who also played. So yeah, and a bunch of other bands that didn't play. But yeah, these are super cool. So this was the first piece of merch I got. Then I went over and I grabbed this In Fury Heaven Wept CD. Very cool album if you don't know it. Awesome technical death metal kind of thing. A lot of technical death metal-ish. Very cool. And it came out this year. So yeah, that was the next thing I grabbed. And then I think I just went and watched the first band up, which was Clusterfucks, who I've seen before. They're like a local Denver crossover punk, like hardcore punk, crossover thrash band. Super awesome. I've seen them before. And yeah, they torched it up right away. It was super awesome. While I was watching that, I was in line to get this shirt, which is the official Flatline Festival shirt. The line was super long to get the official merch on the first day, but I'm glad I snagged a shirt because they're awesome. It doesn't have anything on the back. I kind of wish I had the bands on the back or something, but I can get, just that. So yeah, I can get not having all the crazy merch for just the first year of a festival. But yeah, super cool shirt. And then I also grabbed this Flatline Fest logo patch. That'll go on, probably my new jacket at some point. But yeah, that's cool. And then after Clusterfucks was Glacial Tomb, who were taking the place of Feather and Bone, who were unfortunately not able to make the festival. But yeah, Glacial Tomb was super awesome. They're kind of more like avant-garde death metal kind of deal. They're not, purely old school, but they're still really cool, and I really liked them. It was my first time seeing them. And then after that was In Fury, and I had seen In Fury earlier this year when they played with Defeated Sanity, so that was really cool. In Fury is awesome. I love In Fury. I'm glad I figured out that band is awesome. I hadn't heard of them really before I saw them with Defeated Sanity, but after that I've become a big fan of them, especially the new album. If you haven't heard the new In Fury album called Heaven Wept, definitely go check it out. And then after In Fury was the live debut of one Nuclear Power Trio. Now this is where stuff starts to get really fun. I did not know a whole lot about Nuclear Power Trio coming into this. It is a masked instrumental trio, so they're anonymous, and they play as Trump, Putin, and Kim Jong-un, which I find kind of funny. But their stage show was very elaborate. It had everything from like extra guitars to a saxophone and a trombone and trumpets, and there was like a slideshow kind of thing, or like a presentation type deal that had appearances from like Queen Elizabeth and Osama bin Laden and Abraham Lincoln, all these people, and they had a very like cool story to go along with it. It was very cool, and the instrumentals were very awesome. I really liked it. And then at one point they threw a bunch of inflatable basketballs in the crowd, which is really cool. So yeah, I didn't know a whole lot about it, but that was their first live show, and it was super awesome. Also, their shirts are kind of funny. They said World Tour on it, and Denver was the only date. So yeah, Nuclear Power Trio, thumbs up, do approve. That was really cool. After that, though, was Aborted. Now, if you don't know Aborted, I feel like everybody should know Aborted. They're a pretty popular band. I think they're from Belgium, and they fuck shit up. Like, when I tell you they fuck shit up, like, that's kind of what Aborted does. I saw them before with Cattle Decapitation. And yeah, Aborted was sick. I always love Sven. He's a monster on stage, just really commanding stage presence, and you can tell he really loves to be there. And he said that while they traveled for the fest mostly, they are staying in Denver to record their new album with Dave Otero, so that's really cool. And then headlining the first day was Archspire. Archspire is the fastest band in the world, whatever you want to call them. They're awesome technical death metal. And yeah, Archspire fucked shit up. There was a lot of inflatables going around. Just really cool set. Ollie did like a stand-up thing, a stand-up comedy thing. Archfire is just a really goofy band. They don't take themselves seriously at all, which is kind of funny because they're like some of the best musicians out there in terms of metal and stuff. If you haven't heard Archfire, especially the new album, Too Fast to Die, definitely go check that shit out. But yeah, super fun set. Lots of inflatables in the crowd. They had two people come up on stage and drink beer out of a boot. They got some silly shirts they won for that. They had a wall of death, except it was circumcised people on one side and uncircumcised on the other side. You get the picture. Archspire is a really goofy band. But yeah. So I'm going to go over the rest of the merch I got that day. So for Clusterfucks, I wanted to pick up some stuff. So I got their album Defy on CD. I haven't listened to it. I don't remember. I think I've only listened to a couple songs of this, but I think it's really good. And I think Clusterfucks is an awesome band in general, so definitely go check them out if you haven't heard them. They're OGs of the Denver like hardcore and punk scene. And then I got some stickers. I got this mini one, says Clusterfucks on it, and then I also got this one that says Anti-Fascist Hardcore. So yeah, and then to cap it off, I went over to the Archspire merch table and picked myself up this amazing looking shirt from the new album called Too Fast to Die. It's got the cover on the front, and on the back it says the album title, Too Fast to Die. So yeah, super cool shirt. And then I also got myself a Stay Tech pin because everybody needs something that says this on, their merch or battle jacket or whatever. So this will go on my jacket. But yeah, super cool stuff. Really happy with all the merch I got. And yes, of course, I did get this shirt as well that day, as I mentioned. So yeah, day one, super awesome. Very fun show. No complaints there. And then today, I just got back, but you'll be seeing this the next day, was day 2. So starting off day 2, I got in the merch line early. And I'll show you why later on, because I want to keep it a surprise. But yeah, I got in the merch line really early, and I got something pretty cool. And then the first band up was Necropanther, who are an awesome kind of death thrash thing from Denver. And so I have a bunch of merch, well, not a bunch, but I have some merch from them over here that I got. I picked up this cool patch. It says Necropanther on it. Very cool. Yeah, they're awesome. Definitely go check them out. And then the merch lady was very nice, and she gave me some stickers for free as well. So got the kind of the patch design that I just had on a sticker, and also their logo on a sticker. So very cool stuff right there. And then next up after Necropanther was In the Company of Serpents, who are kind of like they're a 3-piece, like kind of like doom, stoner, sludge type deal. There's some more harsher vocals in there, but it's really slow and doomy, and I really dug it. I had heard of them, but I'm not a big fan of that kind of style. I like faster music, but I really dug them. So I ended up getting one. I think this is their new album in 2025. I'm not an expert on the band, but I did get one of their albums on CD right here. I forget what it's called. It's called A Crack in Everything. But yeah, I just got a CD to support them, and their CDs were really reasonable price. This was only $8, which I feel like is pretty cheap for CDs nowadays. But yeah, definitely a cool band. Go check out In the Company of Serpents if you haven't before. And then later on in the show, I had a really cool conversation with the bassist, who also played the slide guitar for them. I had an extra $5 bill, and I don't like having cash at the end of shows, because I think you should, if you bring cash to shows, you should spend it all and support the band. So I tipped him, and he was very kind and, thankful, and we had a cool conversation about how he was very honored to be on, such a stacked bill with other bands, and, how I know his other band, Night Wraith, because I've seen them before, and, I talked about the merch that I got and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, just a super nice guy. Definitely go check these guys out if you haven't already. But yeah, I got that CD. And then they also had a bunch of free stickers. So I got this big one right here, and also this big one. And then I got a skinny one as well. So yeah, In the Company of Serpents, very cool band. Next up after them was the Zenith Passage, who are a technical death metal band. Not really sure where they're from. I've heard of them before. Haven't really ever been big into them at all, but they were pretty cool. Although I do feel like this was kind of a weak set, and not because the Zenith Passage is a bad band by any means. They were really awesome. I just feel like as a tech death band, following the previous day with Inferi and Archspire on the bill, that was really hard to follow. I feel like maybe if they had swapped out the Zenith Passage with maybe Glacial Tomb, that would have gone a lot better for them, just because I feel like following Archspire and Inferi kind of like, it was cool, but like it wasn't Archspire, who's like the fastest band on the planet, all that kind of stuff. So I feel like it would have been a lot cooler if it was before. Nevertheless, still an awesome set. They fucked shit up, lots of head breakdown, stuff like that, and I got a patch to support them as well. This is their gold glitter logo patch, very cool. I dig this design a lot. With they had a bunch of different colors, but this is the one I got. Was that upside down I showed you? Maybe. But yeah, right there is that patch. Pretty cool stuff. And then after them was Denver death metal grindcore / they call themselves Hydro Grind legends, Cephalic Carnage, who are a really cool band. I hadn't gotten a chance to see them yet. They have been kind of inactive in recent years, but yeah, they've been around since the 90s and are a staple in the local, death metal / grindcore scene. One of the goofiest fucking avant-garde sets I've ever seen. Just crazy. They love weed and beer, as they will tell you a lot. And they had a saxophonist, which I thought was really weird, but it was a really fun set. So yeah, after that was Allegion, who are like a melodic / technical death metal band from Denver. And despite them being one of the bigger bands, obviously they're right before the headliner, I had never listened to them before, but they were super awesome. I'll definitely be listening to them. If you haven't checked out Allegion before, definitely go check them out, because I was thoroughly impressed by them and I really enjoyed their set. And then the last band of this second day, so the last band of Flatline Fest, was arguably the biggest band on the bill, the one everyone went to see today, Cattle Decapitation. I had seen Cattle Decap before when they played Death Atlas in full. I did not get to see the entirety of that album, sadly, because I was with two, people who weren't used to maybe as much metal, my friend and also my girlfriend Anastasia, who you guys know. They had already sat through all of Tribal Gaze, all of Frozen Soul, and all of Aborted, so by the midpoint of Cattle Decap set that day, they were kind of done with it, and I said, we can leave. Because I'm not the biggest Cattle Decapitation band, but I do think they rule live, like absolutely. And Travis Ryan is one of the most impressive vocalists just ever, in my opinion, especially live. But yeah, today I saw the full set. I was very happy. It was an awesome set. They played all the hits, mostly off of Dave Otero's album, since he's the one who they were celebrating and stuff like that. But yeah, super cool shit. Just fuck shit up. And I will show you now what I was talking about earlier, the thing I got in line very early to get. My favorite merch item by far from the fest that I picked up. Limited edition Cattle Decapitation Flatline Fest shirt with Bluesfer on it. If you don't know who Bluesfer is, It's a statue out by the Denver International Airport with a very complicated history. I won't get into a lot of it. You can go look it up on your own, but I will say that the statue had a role in killing its designer, its architect. So definitely check out that store if you're interested. But yeah, it's got the Denver like map on the back. Just a super cool shirt. They posted this on Instagram before the festival, and I knew I had to get in line early to grab one. They sold out really quickly. They were gone by the end of the night. But yeah, super stoked to get that shirt because it's awesome. And yeah, Cattle Decap was really good live, like super good. But all the bands kicked ass. I feel like everybody brought their A game. Everybody was super appreciative to Dave to be on the bill and stuff like that. It was just an awesome experience all around. No complaints other than the merch, which I mentioned. But yeah, super good festival. I had a great time. I had a blast. Talked to super cool people the whole time. Saw people I know from the scene. Met some people. I heard that a lot of people flew in from other places to go to it, which was really cool to hear. Yeah, just super awesome stuff all around. I really enjoyed it, and I really hope they're calling this the inaugural one, which I hope means that it's coming back for more years. But yeah, this was a super awesome fest, and I really enjoyed it. But yeah, with that being said, that's the end of this live show recap of Flatline Fest. So yeah, with that, I hope you're all doing well. Have a nice day. See ya.